Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Don Lugo High School. It is the site for tonight's CIF Southern Section semifinal playoff game. It's Division 7, where the Conquistadores are hosting the Burbank Bulldogs. You know, last year, these two teams met in the semifinal round. It was Burbank winning the game 44-14, but this is a totally different Don Lugo team this year. They're led by their running back, Khoury Bethley. He has rushed for 1,430 yards, 19 touchdowns. They're also led by their quarterback, number 3. He's a senior, Rudy Garcia. 1,712 yards passing, 17 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. With his favorite receiver being number 1, Daniel Mungia. He has over 1,000 yards receiving and 7 touchdowns. As far as Burbank goes, they're 10-2, 7-0 on the season. They're led by Matthew Porras, their quarterback. He's a junior. 2,583 yards passing, 29 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. His favorite receiver being Drew Pendleton, over 1,000 yards receiving and 9 touchdowns. And when they do run it, they'll be looking at Darnell Williams with his 912 yards rushing and 10 TDs to lead the way. The winner gets into the final of the Division 7 playoffs. We'll bring you highlights. We'll bring you interviews right after the game. Usually relies on the running of Khoury Bethley, but it was senior quarterback Rudy Garcia with this run to the Burbank 10-yard line, then a hit out of bounds gives them more yardage, and Bethley from the 1-yard line is going to punch it in. Don Lugo taking an early 7-0 lead. Defense would play a big role for Don Lugo tonight. Burbank quarterback Matt Porras was pressured all night. He throws this ill-advised pass, and it's going to be picked off by Daniel Mungia. And of course, from there, they give the ball to Bethley. He takes out the umpire on this run as he weaves his way through the interior around midfield. The next play, he would break this off for 35 yards. Takes it outside, and he just uses his speed to get around the corner. Second touchdown of the game, and it's hard to believe that he was playing on a sore leg, but it was good enough for a 14-0 lead. Just before halftime, quarterback Matt Porras from Burbank would look and find number 6, Chaz Vang. He's listed at 5'3", but he was the tallest guy on the field after that touchdown catch. 30 yards, and the lead was cut in half, 14-7 at the half. Second half action. It was the Don Lugo defense. This sack by number 10, Tim Garcia. Then it was the Burbank defense showing that they can get to the quarterback. That's 11, Drew Pendleton, sacking Garcia. More Lugo D. 3 guys, and the 4th guy gets to Porras. Then it was time for the Lugo offense to look for Khoury Bethley again, and here he is. He goes to the outside. This little screen pass turned into a 60-yard catch and run, and the Conquistadores were cruising at this point with a 21-7 lead. Burbank basically was shut down offensively in the second half. Joey Murray getting to Porras. And how about one more TD from Khoury Bethley? This one from 20 yards out, and the team that has not won a CIF championship since 1979 is on to the finals, led by one of the best coaches in the Southern Section. We caught up with Greg Gano right after the game.
Talk about Khoury really quick. He was your offense tonight. He had 3 rushing touchdowns, and they had the receiving touchdown for a big
Well,
play.
you know what? He's the best player, one of the better players in our Inland Empire, and you know he's only 70%. He's got a bad leg, so and he was tired because he hasn't practiced all the time. But guess what? He came through again tonight, and we, you know what? Our kids came through and did a great job.
Coach, what about that revenge factor? You know, they beat you last year and kept you out of it.
No. No. You know what? Personally, you're damn right, okay, a little bit. We're only human, and they kicked the crap out of us last year. So we knew what we had to do, and we did it.
So now going into the final here at Don Lugo, what's that feel like right now?
It feels great. I'm so happy for our kids.
You know, you're one of the legends in the Valley. This is another ring that you're going for. You might beat Lou, right?
Oh, I don't know. You know what? Lou's a good friend of mine. I don't know what their score is tonight, but he's a good coach. And Dominic, I have so much respect for those guys. But, yeah, we had some great rivalries with them guys. And, you know, I'm happy for them, and I know he's happy for us.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Well, we're here with Khoury Bethley, 4 touchdowns tonight. Let's talk about that performance because everyone's been asking you, when was the last time Don Lugo has gotten this far? I remember it back when the Zendejas brothers were here, and those guys played for Arizona State, Arizona. What does it feel like for you guys to get into the final?
You know, it's a huge blessing. You know, we've been working hard this whole season, you know, and for it to pay off and for us to get to the championship is huge for us.
Well, let's talk about tonight's game and the 4 touchdowns. They came a bunch of different ways. You ran one in from short yardage. You got a long screen. Let's talk about the long screen pass. Tell me about that play.
You know, I saw the end was coming at me, so I acted like I was going to block him, and then got behind him, and Rudy dumped it off to me. And then I made one guy miss, and then I had a huge block by my receiver and cut off him, and it was just gone.
You know, you guys were up 14-7 at halftime, but you seem like you really confused them. Could you guys feel that they really didn't have what they did, like especially like last year's team?
Yeah, you know, coming into this game, we wanted to stop the jet sweep, and that was their go-to play, and we shut that down in the first quarter. And they really did do a lot of things off that, but shutting that down really helped us a lot because it limited their play calling.
Well, if you guys are going to win a CIF championship, you got to win next week. So what does this team need to do to win a CIF championship next week?
You know, first we got to learn from our mistakes from this game, you know, get in the film room tomorrow, and then just have a great week of practice and come ready to play next week.
Well, Chris, you know, Don Lugo wins the game tonight. You paved the way for Khoury Bethley. Talk about having a running back like that playing for you guys.
I've said it before, he's special. I just make one little sliver and he'll hit it hard, and he ended up in the end zone on that one touchdown he had. He's special. I love him.
So let's talk about this team. You know, the things that you guys have been able to accomplish. Come over a lot of adversity. You get your way to the semifinals. A team that you lost to last year. How does it feel? How sweet does it feel beating these guys this year?
You know, after Colony, everybody started to doubt us. Maybe we weren't semifinal potential. It was great to play them in the semifinals again to get a little bit of vengeance for our seniors last year and for the juniors that played. So it was sweet. I liked it.
What does this team need to do to win next week to get a championship for Don Lugo?
We just need to play our game. Our defense needs to keep stepping up. They've been getting better and better every week. Our offense just needs to keep clicking while the defense is clicking. We all need to come together and put together 4 quarters of football.
Garcia, Tim, tough game tonight. You guys had to beat the team that beat you guys to get into this position. How did it feel beating these guys tonight?
You know what? Personally, I did not play last year. But this year I started and we shut them out. Like, I'm so proud of this team. From freshman year, since we were about this tall, where we just keep on putting in the work in the offseason, and now it's paid off. We go to the finals.
Well, talk about everything that you guys did to them tonight. You shut down their running game. You shut down their passing game. You guys played very well in all facets of the game and really shut them down.
Yeah, we did. It's just a hard work. Since the playoffs started, we were heads like everywhere. We knew what we were going to do. We came out here to go to the championship. That's our number one goal since summer, day one, CIF championship, and look where we're at.
So now that goal is accomplished, you're going to the final. What does it feel like?
It's going to feel amazing. Like, come Friday, Don Lugo is going to be a different team, and we're gonna come out on top.
Game tonight, you guys are on to the final.
Oh, yeah.
What was it that you guys were doing to shut that offense down?
In practice all week, went over all their formations, and just had a great week of practice. Everybody showed up on time, and it shows.
You know, you really shut the running game down. They couldn't do anything. What was it that you guys were doing that was shutting them down?
Doing a lot of man over with the D-line, and we knew all the formations they were running. There's nothing they could do. We read it all day.
So now that you guys are into the final, what does this feel like? You know, when was the last? Do you guys know the history? When was the last time Don Lugo won a championship?
It's been a way long time. I don't even know, but it's something special. This team's something special.
So Don Lugo with 4 touchdowns behind Khoury Bethley. They defeat Burbank tonight in the Division 7 semifinals by a score of 28-7. They move on to the championship game against El Modena. They'll host them right here in this stadium next week. They are looking for their first CIF championship since 1979. This is Tom Kiss reporting from Don Lugo High School for the Southern California Newspaper Group.